Hello friends. So here I will talk about taking a slightly deeper dive into color correction, color matching. We learned to color correct by eye, but we can also improve that by color correcting by channel, and I'll show you what I mean. So I have these two images, and let's say I wanted to match the one on the left to the one on the right because there was a certain treatment happening or it was shot on a different day and I need to make these match. To color correct by eye, I'll just go in here and get a grade node. It could just be a multiply node, but let's see. I would go to the multiply. Remember, we would color correct hue, saturation, and value. Go to the multiply and say, you know what? Let me take a quick look at this image. It looks like it looks greenish. If I go in here, it looks less saturated. Those are the obvious hints. So by saying, it's a little bit more green, right off the bat I would say let's remove some red. So I'll go to 0.9 and see how it looks. Maybe I'll even go to 0.8 and see how it looks. Okay, it's getting there, but it looks a little bit too blue. So I would go over here and start to remove the blue. Maybe it's there or so, and it's already looking better, a lot better. I'm just going to do a little bit of before, a little bit of after, and it makes sense. We said it was greenish, right? So it's just by removing red or decreasing red and blue, I would get closer towards green. It looks difficult to move quickly from this point. It looks like a lot of tweaking would have to take place if I were to continue to do it like this, but so I move on from hue and go on to saturation. And we pretty quickly identified by looking at the most saturated, what might be the most saturated part of the image, we identified that the one on the left is way more saturated than the one on the right. So we'll probably go over here and just start to drag this down. And already we're getting pretty close. I'll just grab both of these to another before, after. Yeah, I'll put a little bit more saturation into there. But all right, so this is going to be pretty difficult to continue to tweak by eye. You probably see those decimal values down there moving around. I can see it will tell me how much red, green, and blue per pixel I have and whether or not it's the same. It can be quite arduous to go in there and manipulate by hundredths, 0.003, 0.004, 0.04, or whatever it might be. So one more step in between that I would do before I go that hyper detailed is look at the individual channels. So the eye does have a limit. You might remember that I mentioned that the eye is more sensitive to luminance than it is to saturation, hue saturation. So what we can do is look at actual luminance by channel. So right now I'm looking at the red channel. I'm going to disable my color correction. If I were to look at the original images, this tells me in a far more obvious way that there is more red, a lot more red in this image than in this image just by looking at it. Once again, when you look at this black and white representation of the red channel, black means there's no red, 0, and white is pure red, or 1. So I'm going to reactivate these, and I'm going to zoom in, and where I have the split screen, you can see a little line here that actually distinguishes between the two still, because the amount of red is not really matched, not adequately anyway. So what I can tell by looking at this, by looking at the values, by looking at the value, it's easy to see like how much darker or how much less red this one has than this. If you go over here, I think your eyes will play tricks on you in terms of that. So if you go back to the channel itself, we can say, well, the one on the left needs to be a little bit brighter. So I'm going to do like 0.81, 0.82, 0.83, maybe 0.84. That's good enough for the sake of demo for now. All right. So now we can say that these are quite close. And if I look at my readings at the bottom in the RGB, you can see that it is, both of them say 0.40 for the red channel. The other decimals, it would be, it might be quite hard to get it right on for that many decimal places. But let's see. Now I will bounce over to my color channel, do a little bit of before after. I'm on the right track. I'll look at my blue channel, and actually, you know, it made sense for in the red channel to do it on the most red part of the image. If we're going to the blue channel, maybe we should go for like a more, for an area that's actually blue. Let's see. Boom. Okay, this side is obviously brighter than this side. Means I need to decrease the blue even more. So, oh, 0.7. Looks like it did the trick. Cool. And I'm getting closer and closer, leaving green for last because we're quite sensitive to that. And I'm not going to solve all your problems on this one. It has been done. I see one person per year match this perfectly. One person per year out of about 30. I've done it once, and I created the second image actually. Okay, friends, thank you very much.